Hi, this is Jessica DeMassa from the GuideWell Insights Lounge. You caught us live here in Singularity University's Exponential Medicine. We are joined right now by Jeffery Brewer, and he is the CEO of Foot Biometrics. Before we start interviewing Jeff, I just want to say hello to everybody who's been watching the live stream. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We hope you had a great morning and that you've enjoyed all of the sessions. Keep weighing in with all of your feedback and all of your ideas on our Twitter hashtag, which is #XMed. And also, if you want to post anything on Facebook, any pictures of the watch parties you might be having, you just sitting there with your laptop, drinking your cup of coffee, please go ahead and do so. And tag Singularity University, tag XMed in it. You can find them on their Facebook page, which is on Facebook as SingularityU. So, Jeffery, I'm going to come back to you now. You just got off of the main stage, so thanks for joining us here. Tell us a little bit about Foot Biometrics. I want to just level set for anybody who may have missed your talk while it was streaming live.
We're developing the use of technology to help people take insulin. People who have type 1 diabetes or are sufficiently advanced in type 2, you need the drug to live on a daily basis, but it's a complicated drug to take. We're basically developing a system that makes it as easy as possible. It uses artificial intelligence in order to help people know how much to take, when to take it, so that they can stay safe and healthy.
All right, unpack that for me for just a minute.
Sure.
So how are you applying AI to that? Because that's a really particular, very specific use case.
Well, the problem is that you have to measure things in the environment, you have to take contextual data, you have to apply algorithms. That is what people do in their heads today. We're able to optimize that by learning about how a particular person's physiology works, which changes over time. It changes within a day, it changes over a month, and it changes across the course of their lives. This is what is personalized about insulin, and the system is able to learn about them, how much they need at a given time and day for a given amount of food. It's a very personal thing, and the artificial intelligence basically does it for them, what they do in their heads today, and unfortunately don't do very well because they spend a lot of time in the hospital.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit, because I mean, we've been hearing so much about AI, and we're starting, I feel like, as an industry to really see some very practical use cases with some outcomes data. So what are you seeing in terms of outcomes on the patient side?
Well, this is a great example because people are already doing this. Literally, patients are hacking their own medical devices, and the systems that are most advanced in the world today for delivering insulin in an automated way were made by hackers, not by any company. So the world has changed. It's not a matter of this may work or we have a trial. People are literally doing this themselves as a DIY project. So it is highly validated. What we're doing is making it less complex, making it easy to train, making it so you don't have to actually compile your own code. We're making it for the rest of us. Like an iPhone is, we are that to medical device.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how this is changing, I guess, the course of care delivery. Like, what's this really, like, what, I mean, really, it sounds so simple and like intuitive. Like, of course, you're going to use, the AI application and really empower the patient in this and personalize their treatment to them on a daily basis with their insulin. But what are the bigger implications of this in terms of care delivery for a chronic condition?
Well, the bigger implications are that now we might have enough endocrinologists to treat people who are taking insulin. Today, 2/3 of the patients are seen by primary care providers who might not know anything about the disease, so it's all on the patient. And then they're spending a lot of time in the hospital. Every time somebody ends up for a hypoglycemic episode because of an insulin dosing error, it's $35,000. My son, who has type 1 diabetes, almost died and spent 2 days in the ICU. This is expensive and completely preventable, so we can save a lot of money in the healthcare system, and plus we can help people save the time that they invest and the grief and the worry. And then the doctors can be rationalized over a larger group of patients because machines can do what machines can do and doctors can do what doctors can do. It allows people to basically play the role they were meant to play. Today, doctors are being asked to be data scientists, tuning complicated devices, interpreting trends of data. Computers do that better.
Right. Well, I think, it would definitely shift the care paradigm a little bit back to make it more personalized in terms of the patient experience.
And allow the doctor to spend more time with the patient, connecting with the patient. Most of these doctors, literally even the endocrinologists, are spending 15 minutes with the patient. And so if you can take away a lot of stuff that they're spending time on now that adds no value and allow them to connect, it's going to improve the experience for everybody.
So I want to ask you more broadly, weighing in, like you're in your, with your company, you're in this very specific use case, but as you're seeing, from this, what can the larger healthcare, industry learn from this particular instance of applying artificial intelligence with something so simple, well not simple, but something so regular and day-to-day in terms
Well, that's
of
the
chronic
key.
condition.
It's regular day-to-day and it's done by the patient. So you have
done by the patient is
That's
really
right.
important. Talk more about that.
It's not the doctor who's making the decisions, it's the patient. So it needs to be smart, it needs to be robust to misuse. Patients are like the rest of us. We don't follow instructions of our doctors, we don't read the manual, we do all sorts of creative stuff, and then sometimes we're stressing the system. It's got to be for that world, not for a medical professional who listens to instructions and does continuing education. It's just a whole different game, and that's where personalization that doesn't require people is such a game changer. And I think it's relevant to all chronic disease. Everything that requires a person to comply with some regimen, to actually adhere, as they say, to some set of instructions. Computers can actually help simplify that, reminding people or just doing it themselves.
Right. Very good. And I wanted to ask you one last question here before we wrap it up. I wanted to ask, from your perspective here at XMed, have you had like an aha moment over the last couple of days yet? Something that struck you? Any session that you watched or anything like that really kind of blew your mind? I'd love to hear.
I have confidence that the world is finally changing in healthcare. I come
That's a pretty bold statement.
I do, and the things that didn't seem possible last year or 5 years ago are now possible.
What's changed?
Well, the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing. Literally, we're playing in a space that only Fortune 200 companies dominated before, and we're a startup with 50 people in Silicon Valley, composed of a bunch of people who have a connection to this disease, and we're able to do a trial with the FDA, demonstrate that computers more cost effectively and better can actually do this job. That's a changed world. The FDA is in a completely different place.
Yeah, we're going to hear a little bit about that later,
Yeah.
I know. And talk a little bit about that from your perspective, because it's interesting with what we're seeing from innovators. We're talking about this year in particular has been a monumental year for the FDA in terms of digital health.
Yeah. Well, going back a few years, the FDA in this particular space, they really listened to patients and understood what it was like to live with this disease and how badly some people were doing. And so they really opened up and had a willingness to look at the innovation, which of course any innovation carries risk associated with it,
Sure.
but the risks are way outweighed by the benefits. And so the FDA has partnered with us. They have been great in we're basically connecting a smartphone to a class 3 medical device system that delivers a drug that if in the wrong amount is given could
Right.
kill you. That's a big thing. It's a big mind change for the FDA. We have to do it safely. We have to demonstrate that it will work always like it's supposed to work and that it will keep a person safe. But now it's not whether or not you can do it, it's how you do it, and that we demonstrate it's safe. It's a game changer, and I have to say that this is an aspect of medical innovation that is being facilitated and made possible by the government, which is a pretty cool thing.
That's fantastic. And I do want to say to all of you guys who are out there who are watching this live stream and who are tweeting about this, we'd love to hear your input on the hashtag XMed. Talk to us and tell us what you think. Are you more optimistic that things are really going to change like Jeffery is here? Or what are you seeing? And from your vantage point, are you having a similar experience with government support for the innovations that you're launching? We'd love to hear from you. So tweet us your response. Make sure that you tag hashtag XMed, reference this live stream interview. Jeffery, thank you so much for joining us here live at the GuideWell Insights Lounge. Right now, we're going to throw it to an interview that we did earlier, actually right before yours, with Aya Khalil, and she is the Chief Commercial Officer and co-founder of GNS Healthcare. And this is actually a great interview because Aya is talking about her experience working with big data and working with machine learning and really applying it on a very large macro scale in terms of helping to change health outcomes in the pharmaceutical space and in the health insurance payer space, and also in a healthcare foundation. So stay tuned, watch that, tell us what you think. We'll see you back at the next break. Enjoy the afternoon session of Exponential Medicine 2017. I'm Jessica DeMassa here at the GuideWell Insights Lounge. Thanks so much for joining us.